What's going on, YouTube? Americans have a long-lasting love of massive SUVs, and lately the full-size SUV segment has been having a huge boom. They are expected to have not just huge capability and space, but also tons of luxury as well. Two of the newest entries into the market are siblings to one another, the Nissan Armada on the mainstream side, and the Infiniti QX80 on the luxury side. We spent time with both of them and think you might be surprised at just how similar they are despite the drastically different prices. So, should you save some money and buy the Nissan instead of the flagship Infiniti QX80? Let's compare them and find out. Large SUVs certainly carry large price tags these days, so let's briefly dive into that first before we get into all the exterior, interior, cargo, and driving elements. Obviously, as expected, the Nissan will carry a lower price than the more luxurious sibling. With all the options, we're setting at a touch under $85,000. That may seem like a lot, and it is, but the loaded autograph QX80 comes in at a whopping $28,000 more expensive. Its price tops out at $112,590 all in. By the way, if you want to get the best price from local dealerships and access to invoice pricing info for these two models or any vehicle, we have a tool on our website to do just that. It's great for shopping, so be sure to check the link in the description for more info. If you're new to our comparisons, we conduct them objectively. We've done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories. And towards the end, we will account for that large price difference and evaluate value. Let's go ahead and get started. The name of the game with big SUVs has always been to have an imposing design, and certainly these two accomplish that mission. With a keen eye, you might be able to tell these two are related, but overall, the Armada goes for a more truck-like appearance than the QX80 with a bolder look. You actually have more chrome on the Nissan Platinum Reserve. And as far as lighting, both have premium projector LED headlights. That's not to say there aren't differences though. Only the Infiniti has animations and an illuminated logo, and only the Nissan has LED fog lamps. Heading on around to the side, you'll see some family resemblance, and as far as length, the Infiniti is just a tiny bit longer due to the different bumper designs. Definitely make sure to get those tape measures out and see if they will fit in your garage. And note that neither offer an extended wheelbase version like some of the rivals. Regardless, for style they have 22-inch alloy wheels, and both the QX80 and Armada offer two-tone roof schemes. Moving to the rears, the QX80 has a rounded glass look, and the Armada goes for a boxier appearance. As far as features, they both have full-length and fully LED taillights, spoilers, and they also have hidden wipers to keep them from being weathered. As body-on-frame SUVs, they have large capabilities when it comes to towing. To be exact, 8,500 pounds is your rating on both of them, which is better than most of the other rivals. Now, as far as other features, both have fully loaded mirrors with heating, power folding, blind spot monitoring, and auto-dimming. Only the Infiniti includes auto-dimming on both the driver and passenger sides though. Past that, they also have every single active safety system as standard equipment. Surprisingly, Nissan also allows the Armada to have ProPilot 2.1, which enables some hands-free highway driving and matches the capability offered on the QX80. Warranty-wise, the Infiniti takes the lead. It offers a longer basic and powertrain warranty, as well as a longer complimentary maintenance service period. Anyway, that's the end of the bold exteriors, but the bigger part of this comparison is definitely on the insides, so let's get into that. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16.
We started young, and since then, we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point. No matter what you're looking for, from our long-term vehicle videos to our side-by-side comparisons, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. So walking up to these vehicles, both are obviously going to have smart entry systems with remote start. The Nissan doesn't have sensors behind the door handle to unlock, while in the Infiniti, they theatrically pop out on approach, and they do have sensors. Interestingly, neither of them has power deploying running boards or soft closed doors, despite the price tags. Now, glancing inside the interiors of these two, you'll see some strikingly similar and different aspects. But before we dive into that, let's start with the seats. Despite the initial color difference, we have real leather seating on both SUVs, although the Infiniti uses a more premium and supple semi-aniline leather. For features, they are heated, ventilated, have memory functions, and are highly adjustable with things like 4-way lumbar. Both also include seat massaging, but only the QX80 has power bolster adjustment, useful for that next post-Thanksgiving drive. Now, getting inside and breaking down the bigger point of overall material quality, these two both impress. While they are quite similar, the QX80 levels up as expected, with generous use of leather, genuine open-pore wood, and other bougie materials such as the suede headliner. While the Armada is extremely nice, it can't quite match the specialness of the QX80's cabin. Now let's start to look around and assess individual items, starting with our gauge clusters. Both have massively upgraded the tech for 2025 and feature a 14.3-inch display serving as the gauge cluster. In addition, they have the same large head-up display, and pulling back, they have heated, power-adjusting leather-wrapped wheels, as well as rain-sensing wipers. Both even include leather airbag covers. Next up is the major point category of interior storage, where, as you might expect, both excel. Now normally, the refrigerator cool box included only on the Infiniti would take up quite a bit of the console space, but that's actually not the case here. They are nearly identical, and also have the same size cup holders and wireless phone chargers. The large center pass-through is also the same, so overall, we'll call this area even. That space is due to the compact nature of the push-button shifter on both. To help you navigate these big SUVs, they have the expected 360-degree cameras with many view selections. And you also have advanced options such as 3D spin view and being able to expand the front camera to cover the entire gauge cluster screen. But before we get into all the other tech in the main screens, it's time to talk audio. This is one area where both of them have had a big glow up this year. They're utilizing new Clips audio systems. But the Infiniti's is a more advanced version. It has double the speakers with incredibly rich audio quality. Plus, it's including special features such as speakers in the headrest that can isolate out phone calls and navigation instructions without disturbing the rest of the car. Moving on from that, let's talk climate controls, which are actually completely different between these siblings. The Infiniti went for a more high-tech approach, and it's using a separated 9-inch display for the climate system. But the Armada uses a traditional button setup. Overall, after spending time with both, the Nissan's adjustments are a lot easier to use while driving. Both models have 3 zones of adjustment, and also include a feature called biometric cooling. This system uses infrared sensors to actually monitor the driver and passenger's body temperatures and adjust the climate according to that. Alright, so now that we are past the unusually complicated climate systems, let's talk about those main screens. Just like the gauge clusters, both are using the exact same 14.3-inch dual display setup. That's not a bad thing though, as both have Google built in, wireless versions of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, plus excellent graphics and performance. Finally, for the front of the cabins, Both have auto-dimming rearview mirrors with garage openers and rear camera ability. Plus, they also have large panoramic sunroofs. Now let's head for the important back areas. Right off the bat, you can see that the QX80 goes for the executive style seating arrangement, while the Nissan has a traditional captain's chair setup. As far as space is concerned, despite riding on the same platform, their figures are ever so slightly different, but not more than the 5% threshold required to score a point. Space aside, you'll be spoiled with luxury amenities. That's even more true in the Infiniti, since its seats are power adjusting instead of manual, ventilated in addition to heated, and even power massaging. Additionally, while both have captain's chairs, this Infiniti has a full center console with storage and a screen to adjust all kinds of settings, compared to just cup holders on the floor in the Armada. But we're not done yet. Both have two USB-C ports and a 12-volt outlet, though oddly enough they do not have window sunshades. Alright, now let's move to the next row of seats. Previously, neither SUV had a very good third row, but that changes this year. Their folding mechanisms are easy to use, and don't require child seat removal to access them. As far as space, they are identical. These easily fit adults comfortably, and there are 3 seats with power reclining abilities. As a cherry on top, the Infiniti adds heating for those way back seats. Moving around to the back, both have hands-free power tailgates, and once they open up, it shouldn't be a surprise that they are nearly identical in capacity. The Infiniti does hold the slight advantage behind the third row. However, that advantage evaporates since the other 2 seating configurations, the difference is not enough to score a point. Both have power folding third row seats, buttons to fold the second row from the cargo area, spare tires, and air suspensions that lower to make loading in cargo easier. But that's it for the insides, so let's take this fight to the streets and see how they stack up there. As siblings, it should come as no surprise to you that both the Armada and QX80 have traded their V8s from the past generation to the same twin-turbocharged V6 engine. They do, however, make different power figures, 425 and 450 to be exact, in the Armada and QX80 respectively. Torque is the same in both, and acceleration is impressive despite their size. Alright, that's 60 miles per hour.
Nice.
Nice and quick here with the new QX80. So like we mentioned at the spec dump, that really is kind of one of the big stories about this new QX80 is that previous venerable 5.6 liter V8 is gone now. We have a 3.5 liter twin turbocharged 6-cylinder in its place. Now, like I also mentioned at the spec dump, power is up a lot even if cylinders are down. So we have 450 horsepower now, over 500 pound-feet of torque as well. So that's a gain of 50 horsepower and more than 100 pound-feet of torque over the previous generation. And you can certainly feel that when you accelerate. All right.
Nice.
That was 60 miles per hour in this new Armada. So, as we discussed in the first part of our review, and I'll just go ahead and recap, big changes to what's under the hood. So previously, we had that 5.6 liter V8. That was kind of a signature engine for the Nissan brand, but times are changing. Now we need less cylinders, a little bit better fuel economy and emissions. So we're switching to a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 instead. This is part of the VR family, and it makes more power and significantly more torque. So 425 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. Again, big improvements over that previous V8 engine. As far as the transmissions are concerned, they both use a 9-speed automatic transmission, and power is put to the ground via 4-wheel drive systems. Now, let's talk about the other element of the powertrain, and that's our 9-speed automatic transmission. I think this is a really good partner to this engine. It really seems to keep it nicely in its power band. When you punch it, you don't have to wait very long at all to get that downshift and access to the additional power. While these SUVs have bones that underpin the very off-road capable Patrol overseas, these will likely spend far more time on-road than off-road. As such, let's talk about ride quality. One of the biggest advantages to the Armada and QX80 this year is a new full air suspension. That means they handle bumps in the road surprisingly well and let in a lot less vibration than most other body-on-frame SUVs. Furthermore, both have special suspension tuning systems that work hard to compensate for body roll. From our experience, it's quite effective when you take them out on a back road.
All right, so we're turning on to a highway portion where we can discuss important things like ride quality. Now, this review, of course, is a 7-day review, which means that we lived with this vehicle for the full week, and certainly I have been nothing but impressed. Now, I was actually the one that flew out to California and did a video on this originally, and on those roads I was thinking that the ride quality was really good, but having it here for a week in Kentucky really proves that this new ride quality is very impressive. Part of the reason why it's so impressive is because we have an air suspension. This is an Infiniti first feature air suspension that really helps improve your overall ride quality to get you the best ride as well as the best dynamics. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with it. They've done a fantastic job. It does a great job of soaking up the bumps, even with the large 22s on the outside. I really have no complaints. Also, these seats are Nissan zero gravity seats, so one of the best ride qualities in the segment.
It's also important that family SUVs are very quiet, which is why here at Car Confections, we take a sound level reading for every vehicle we test out. Decibel readings are on a logarithmic scale, and the smallest difference an adult can usually discern is 1 decibel. These are within spitting distance of one another, although Armada was tested in Tennessee on a media drive, so it can't be counted as official.
Nice long sample there, 56.1 decibels is what we are sitting at. Sitting at 54 decibels is what we're getting here in Tennessee.
Finally, when it comes to fuel economy, both get the same 17 mpg combined. While that's not too efficient, it is worth noting the 25 horsepower advantage in the Infiniti means that you have to use premium fuel as opposed to regular fuel in the Nissan. That certainly would cost you more over the lifetime of the vehicle. In our reviews and comparisons, we also have added in reliability and resale information to give you a better picture of the overall value beyond just the original MSRP. Beginning with reliability, we developed the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account several studies from trustworthy sources and combines them in a way that gives you a more realistic picture. Nissan is rated 2 slots below the industry average for all brands in reliability, which takes away 0.2 points. Infiniti is also below average for reliability, by 5 slots to be exact, which reduces its score by a half point. We also put Mason's economics degree to work to develop a detailed predicted resale value tool. After 5 years and 60,000 miles, Nissan retains a predicted 50.56% of its value, and Infiniti comes in at 41.2% after 5 years. That gives the Armada a 9% advantage, or plus 0.9 points. Resale is obviously important because it determines how much money you get back, but we can't forget about the price difference at the original purchase. The Infiniti QX80 cost a whopping $27,780 more than the Nissan Armada, which, according to our scale, translates to a quarter point per $1,000 of difference, or 7 points to the Armada. I want to emphasize that if money, reliability, or resale value matters less to you personally, feel free to disregard these points. And if you'd like to check out all our data about reliability and resale values, as well as learn about our methodology, make sure to head to carconfections.com/resale and /reliability. Buying a car is a big decision, and this is a great place to compare all the makes you might be cross-shopping. Now that's it for this comparison between these two big and related SUVs. But let's go ahead and recap here a little bit with some pros and cons about why you might have that as your personal winner based on what's most important to you. So the Armada should be your personal winner if you're looking for, obviously, the best value. It could be significantly less expensive depending on which version you choose. In this comparison, $28,000 less expensive. Physical controls for your climate is also a nice benefit, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road, and you have a more truck-like design.
Now, on the flip side, the QX80 should be your choice if you value the luxury things in life, I guess. It does have more luxury features, as expected. It does cost more, especially when it comes to the back seat area. You have massaging, heated and ventilated back seats, as well as the full power adjustment, and even a heated third row. Those are all things that are not available on the Armada. Also, the interior materials are a step above the Armada. While it is very nice, it definitely adds a little bit extra bougie touches. It additionally has a longer warranty, and you get a better dealer experience than you would at a Nissan setup. So which one are you taking? Are you taking the Infiniti QX80 and its luxurious interior, or are you going to take the more truck-like Nissan Armada? Let us know your thoughts down below. Also, if you're looking to buy either one of these SUVs or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. But guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this comparison. If you enjoyed watching, we'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, as well as comparisons, and you're going to help us to make more videos on this channel. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.